All right, Shalom. I want to start off with giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of great millstone. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. And I want to touch on this article. And this is from the economiccollapseblog.com. And it reads, America's cities are being turned into crime-ridden war zones, and murder rates are way up again in 2021. So the wealthy are reveling in their giant mountains of money, but meanwhile, our society is literally coming apart at the seams all around us. The stock market has been hovering near all-time record highs, and for those at the very top of the economic pyramid, these may seem like the best of times. But for most Americans, the good old days are a long distant memory. More than 70 million new claims for unemployment benefits have filed over the past year. Poverty is absolutely exploding all around us, and crime rates are shooting higher at the unprecedented rate. In fact, one study of 34 big U.S. cities found that their murder rates rose by an average of 30% in 2020. And remember, 2020 is when the pandemic has started, right? And what happened when this have started was the loss of jobs. Okay, so you gave more time. People had more time on their hands, and then they had less of income, especially if they didn't get the unemployment benefits. So it says, a study by the National Commission on the Crime Royal 19 and Criminal Justice found that murders increased by 30% across 34 large U.S. cities. Once again, we talk about they had a lot of time on their hands, and then they didn't have they had a lack of work. So what do Jake normally do? They take matters into their own hands. And I mean, it's not even just Jake, but people that is in a dire straight circumstance will do anything to get money by all means, right? In some areas, carjackings, robberies, shootings, sexual assaults, and violence have become so common that it seems like the crime literally never stops, unless you have a death wish. There are certain parts of Los Angeles, Minneapolis, Chicago, Philadelphia, and Baltimore that you should never enter night or day. If you doubt me, just go wander the streets of the worst neighborhoods of those cities to see what happens to you. This was supposed to be a year when crime rates begin to return to normal, but instead, they are on the rise again. One study that looked at 37 large U.S. cities found that murder rates are by an average, or up by an average of 18% so far in 2021. And see, these things are going to get nothing but more. These things are going to just go get worse than it actually was before, right? As with their let me see, my bad, what their studies are showing so far, right? So now let's want to go into this. Let's get the book of Matthew. Oh, we already there. It's beautiful. Matthew chapter 24, verse 13. No, Slaki, not 13. Verse 12, it says, and because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. So when you go into this word iniquity, in the Greek is anomia. This is illegality, that is violation of law or generally wickedness. Okay? Iniquity, transgression of the law, unrighteousness. Okay? So this was going to happen, right? What you are witnessing, iniquity is abounding. So within the iniquity abounding, within the witness, with the wickedness abounding, meaning skyrocketing, you're starting to see the love of many waxing cold. Let's go into this word cold. It's suko. It says to breathe voluntarily but gently, thus differing on the one hand from which denotes properly a forcible separation. So it's not giving us the right code, okay? So also, and so we'll put it in the term as when a person turns cold-hearted, it's meaning they don't have any more care. I mean, they don't have any warmth. They don't have any love with themselves. They treat you with respect, treat you with care, you know. But to do the cold shoulder to you and basically say, look, it is what it is. It's a dog eat dog world. You gotta fend for yourself. I gotta fend for myself. And by any means necessary, I'm gonna have to do what I gotta do to feed me and mines. Okay. That's a better example to use when it says many shall wax cold. And this is what you are going to see is the more loss of jobs. And see, what's really keeping people up, giving people a little bit of edge right now is the stimmy. All right, see, this is what Jake called the stimulus, all right, which Biden has passed, a stimulus check, which gave people $1,400. And I believe this is the third one that was the people have received, majority of the people have received, okay? But just imagine without those stimmies, what would have took place? The crime rate, instead of being at 18%, it probably would have doubled. It probably would have been at 36 in 2021 because that's less money Jake would have had in their pockets. So when Jake has less money, what do they tend to do? Well, they tend to rob, right? Or they tend to steal. They tend to murder, right? They tend to scam, fraud, do whatever they need to do. Okay? Now, remember it says, because iniquity shall abound, and that goes into wickedness. Now, when you go into, right, Exodus, the 20th chapter, what does it say? Exodus chapter 20, verse 13, it says, thou shalt not kill, which this word should be murder, okay? Killing someone unjustly. So it says, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not commit adultery. You're not supposed to be sleeping with another man's woman, okay? And woman is not supposed to sleep outside of her husband, okay? But you see that being pushed, that energy being pushed forth at an all-time high, okay? Adultery. And another term they'll use today is, they'll try to use it to make it sound nice. They'll use entanglement. They'll use dating, okay? That's another big one. That's another term that has been used to try to cover up the real word of it, of being adultery, but they say dating, all right? Verse 15, it says, thou shalt not steal. Okay, you're not supposed to steal from your neighbor, okay? But we see all these things abounding. Verse 16, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. And you'll have people lie on other people just so they can benefit off their downfall. Verse 17, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, or anything that is thy neighbor's, all right? Okay, so kamad, all right, chamad says beauty, greatly beloved, covet, delectable thing, great delight, desire, okay, to lust, to be pleasant, a pleasant thing, precious. Okay, so you don't want to lust and desire what someone else has. And see, a lot society right now is based on that, okay? Wanting what everyone else has. All right, then you got Jake that showboated all over the social media, taking pictures and doing videos and things like that, which puts more fuel to the fire, okay, of Jake wanting to take what they have. Okay, not saying it's right for Jake to do it just because the person's showboating, but Jake do these things. They not humbly when they get things. They don't humbly do it. They boast and they brag. Okay, and make fun of the people that don't have these things, and the same people that don't have these things are the ones that be lurking to take these things that Jake boasts and brag about. Okay. So yeah, since we went into Matthew 24th chapter to talk about iniquity shall abound, okay, we went into the word iniquity, which is unrighteousness, which is wickedness, and as you see these things, the different things that I read of thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not steal, right? These are things that you see in the society that are abounding, right? And who is speaking against these things that's happening, this wickedness? The men of the Lord, the servants, the prophets. Okay, we are the ones that stand firm for the name of Yahweh Shem Shai. We are the ones that's sticking up for righteousness, while everyone else is completely silent. All right, they don't speak on none of these things that are taking place, none of these issues that's destroying the so-called Black, Latino, Native American communities. Okay, because this is what's destroying in our communities. Okay, these type of actions, these behaviors. Okay, with the gang banging, with the drug dealers, with the whoredom of our nation. You see that the black culture mindset. You see the Latino mindset. See, these things are destroying the mind, destroying our people. Okay. All right. So continuing on, it says, "What is truly frightening is that this is about as good as things are going to get in America from here on out. So if murder rates are spiking this much under relatively good conditions, what will our cities look like when things get really crazy? Some of the crimes that we are witnessing are almost too horrible for words. For example, just consider what just happened to a 12-year-old boy in Miami. A suspect in a black car kidnapped the boy in about 2 a.m. early Saturday morning from Miami Street, according to Miami-Dade Police Department. He drove a few blocks, raped the boy, and then shoved him out of the car and drove off, police said. A Good Samaritan on a bike near the scene of the crime came to the boy's rescue. He was bleeding from the head and said he had been shot. This is crazy, and these are the type of things that are taking place in the society at a normal rate, right? And these are things we speak against. These are things that we want to end. So this is why, we say, Lord willing, this place is ultimately destroyed, okay? Why? So the kingdom of heaven can be ushered in, It says, how sick do you have to be in order to do something like that? Sadly, I could write about nightmarish crimes such as every single day of the week if I wanted to, because they happen constantly. Much of the crime boom and is being fueled by gangs. There are more than 100,000 gang members living in the city of Chicago alone, and a steady stream of illegal immigrants ensures that the gangs will always have an influx of new recruits. Securing our borders will go a long way towards solving the problem, but we refuse to do that. Blah, 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 for us, dealing with that. But the point is, as you see, and you can read this article, a lot of information on this article, but what you see is the crime rate is going to continue and it's not going to stop. So it's saying with these things being relatively okay right now, things are going to get much worse than what we see now. And see, these people are hoping for the better as the states are starting to open back up, right? As they're saying enough people is vaccinated to open up things and stuff like that. People are ready to parade abroad, parade out on these streets and live their nightlives and, continue to travel around the world and live their best life, but not knowing these things are everything that you see now is going for the reckoning of this place. Okay, as it even may seem that things are going good, the place is being torn from the inside out. All right, let's go to the book of and I don't want to make this long. I didn't mean to make this too long already. Let's go to the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 16. Verse. Verse 21, it says, behold, victuals shall be so good, cheap upon earth, that they shall think themselves to be in a good case. And even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. So it's still going to be a time where, things are going to be going well. You know what I'm saying? Things are going to be good and people are going to be satisfied and think everything is, normal as it can be. Everything is at its height. Everything is at its best, right? But then it says what? They shall think themselves to be in a good case. And even then shall what? Evils grow upon the earth. The sword, famine, and great confusion. Right? And for many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine. And the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy, right? And the dead shall be cast out as dung, and there shall be no man to comfort them. For the earth shall be wasted, and the cities shall be cast down. And this is this is about to take place, man. You know, it's all these things are gonna just increase. And it's gonna be so bad. It's gonna be even a point in time where, there's gonna be bodies laying on the street like as dung. But ain't nobody gonna be able to bury those bodies. Ain't nobody gonna be able to comfort the people that's mourning. It ain't gonna be no time for that, okay? Because it's gonna be what? More of a feed for yourself, a dog eat dog type of world going on. Man, this place is gonna look like a third world country very soon. You know? Troops everywhere. You know what I'm saying? You gonna have troops everywhere, different cities being blocked off. That's in I believe the next chapter, right? Cities being blocked off. Martial law, all types of different things. Insurrection in the cities, uprising against the government. All these things is going to be taking place. Straight chaos, economic collapses. All these things is going to take place, man, and the streets is going to get ugly, man. Okay, so yeah, as time go, crime is going to rise. You see, and ultimately, if you're not protected by Yahweh, you're gonna get caught up in these things, man. Jacob's trouble that's coming, you know. All these different things are about to come across our people. The hour of temptation, when each want to try to chip everybody with the mark of the beast. See, these are the type of things that's coming upon planet Earth, man. You know what I'm saying? And right now, we already dealing with we about to have to deal with how they about to set up this this Maxine digital passport, and if you don't got that, of what's going to come upon you, the persecution that's going to come upon you for not taking that, okay? So, hey, man, as time go on, we're going to see the increase of wickedness.